Hello, and it's me, RenegadeBros here with...
BroRenegade here.
And together we are the RenegadeBros. Now, in this video, as you might be told from the title, we're going to discuss something a little different, which is 4DX and what our opinions and thoughts are of it. Now, for those guys that maybe don't know what this is, it actually premiered on the 30th of January in Milton Keynes, which is where we are. We've got something to be proud of. And yeah, for once. But anyway, besides that, it basically allows you to still be immersed into the film. For example, well, I've seen 2 films in 4DX and BroRenegade here seen 1. If in a certain scene the camera either sways over to a certain way, or camera pans out, or something moves very quickly, then because you're sitting in motion seat, they will move in that direction. It will either tilt you forward if maybe the camera's sort of dipping under something. If you're going to the right or left, it will put you both those respective ways. On top of that, it does actually shoot out some scent, depending on, of course, the film. It does shoot out smoke at the front of the screen, and it does shoot out it doesn't shoot out bubbles as well, and that was the other thing. It does shoot out very strong light from the left and the right side of the auditorium or the cinema screening. Now, it's something that has been very recently new, and as mentioned, I've seen 2 films. I've seen Trappy and I've seen RenegadeBros Home, and you've seen RenegadeBros Home, so to see it.
Yeah.
So, from your thoughts on 4DX initially, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think it's worthwhile? Do you think maybe it could be improved?
I think it's worthwhile. I think the one thing they could improve is either have, to entice more people to go see it, they could have, for example, I know it's super screen, but they could have a slightly bigger screen. And what I was gonna say was, if you go to see a film in 4DX, it won't happen in every film, but in some films, it will shoot out either bubbles or smoke or both. But when they shoot it out, it only shoots out at the front. It does not shoot out anywhere else in the cinema, which kind of annoyed me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's not a big drawback, keep in mind. I mean, it does block some of the screen. With Trappy, it did shoot out smoke at the very front. You have to keep in mind that because there's a lot of technology behind 4DX, at the present moment in time, they can't shoot smoke from every single area, every single seat, rather. Again, it only fits half of what a normal cinema screen would actually hold, so you have to keep that in mind as well. But, yeah, you are right. I mean, like, you can turn off water on the individual seats, and to be honest, you don't get sprayed with that much water to begin with. You make it a quick spurt if it's, say, a calculated spurted in the face with raw or some other liquid, like with RenegadeBros Home, or if there's a raining scene, like in Trappy, where there's actually a slight rain. You actually get rain on your head, so you actually feel it. It does have its drawbacks. On top of that, with the smoke and the bubbles as well, you can't turn off the scent. Now, the scent, the only film that had scent that I have seen thus far is RenegadeBros Home. There was 2 scents. There was one where the alien goes to smell its air freshener in the supermarket, and you can smell it like straight off. On top of that, there was another one where I can't remember what the big bad aliens race is, but when Gorgs, that's it. Where he's traveling through space, they do splash out another scent, which that scent was really hard to pick up. Like, I don't know if they sprayed out anything else, but those are the only 2. But no, I mean, they do splash out quite a bit. Obviously, there's a lot of health and safety warnings. You can't have hot beverages in the cinema at all. You have to be over, obviously, a certain age. You
can't be pregnant.
But yeah, well, I mean, there's stuff like that which are obvious in that sense, but it does limit, number one, how many people could go to see it, and if they can maybe, make it more friendly. On top of that, the biggest drawback, I think, is the price. Now, I'm with Cineworld. I don't go to see a film anywhere else. I actually quite like Cineworld. I've got the unlimited card, not the premium version, which is 25% off everything. I get 10% off everything, off food and drinks and cinema tickets and all that good jazz. But it does cost quite a bit. For me to go, it costs, because we saw RenegadeBros Home on the premiere day on the 14th of March, which was Saturday just gone, and it cost me about 4 or 5 quid to even go to see it. And keep in mind, BroRenegade here, he saw it as well. Even though I used the My Cineworld, which gets a further 10% off tickets, it cost him to see it in 3D and 4DX, which is the only screening that we could see in, £16 for a kid to go see it. Now, if you don't have the unlimited cards, it's going to cost an exceedingly amount of money, especially for an adult, around, I'd say about £20 or so, maybe more. So it's not necessarily ideal to see every film in it. Chappie had a bit of action in it, and the action scenes were very good in 4DX. The other thing that we didn't mention as well is on the seats they have these pads at the back. Now, if something crashes and obviously they sort of go back into, say, maybe a chair or wall, then you do feel behind the chair. It sort of seems in Chad Roberts, so it doesn't really affect him, but you do feel like little pelts in the back of the chair, which is actually quite nice. It was the same in Home, actually. There's a few scenes in that.
Yeah, when I think it was like they crashed, didn't they?
And the flushes, yeah, where they crash. They crash a few times, and you do feel quite a few bumps in the back, which it makes it for a fun experience. But it's not something that you would go to see every film in.
No,
so,
it's way too expensive.
I mean, everyone's saying that the best two films, probably the best two films to see in 4DX would probably be the new Fast and Furious film, Fast and Furious 7, and the Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, obviously, Age of Ultron's got a ton of action in it, especially from the trailer, so everyone's going to go, I will go see it in 4DX, but I would say, my personal thoughts and opinions are, it's very good for what it is at the moment. Obviously, it can be improved upon. Whether or not it can be, it remains to be seen, because it's only very new technology, especially within the UK. What would you, BroRenegade, give it out of 10, out of 4DX, from what you've seen done thus far? Your initial opinion.
Can I go 7.5?
You can go 7.5. I would give it an 8. It is good, but you wouldn't go see, for example, like a romance film in 4DX. You just wouldn't.
Like, for example, me and RichRenegade made a deal to each other that since we're into like Marvel and DC, and we into like all the superheroes, we have seen Avengers 1 and we love that film, so we've agreed that as soon as Avengers Age of Ultron comes out, we have to see that in 4DX.
Yeah, because I mean, an action film would be good in 4DX because you know it's got a lot of action, and to be honest, 4DX is meant for a lot of the action scenes. Now, with like a romance film or comedy film, obviously that may not necessarily be the case unless some sort of slapstick humor is in there. So, I mean, again, the biggest drawback I would say is the price. It can be very expensive just to go. You're paying about double your normal ticket to even see these films in 4DX. But other than that, I think once they get the technology improved upon and maybe expand the audience, maybe making it more friendly so that people with maybe health problems could go see these films in 4DX, that would actually be a great help for them and a great help to actually improve the technology as well. But that's our thoughts and opinions for 4DX. Tell us what you guys and girls think. If you've seen a film in 4DX thus far, or if you're interested, what would you go and see? What film would you go see? Would you go see Fast and Furious 7? Would you go see Avengers Age of Ultron or any other film? Tell us in the comment section below. And until then, we will see you guys and girls in the next video.
Peace.